Welcome to Let's Talk Money, Honey, the podcast where we break down the barriers to financial success.
I'm Elise Levy here with Holly Henry, and we're your hosts, two financial advisors on a mission to demystify investing, unravel the complexities of money, and sprinkle a little wisdom into your life.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just dipping your toes into the world of finance, join us once a month as we discuss how to navigate life's financial twists and turns. Just remember, building wealth and living your best life should be empowering, not intimidating.
So listen up and let's talk money, honey. Okay, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money, Honey. It is National Estate Planning Awareness Month, so what better time to talk about estate planning and really estate planning nightmares?
Yeah, so October is also Halloween, so it's just kind of, we call it like the scary month, and so we really just kind of wanted to bring in the nightmares to it because we have both experienced clients that have had to walk through nightmares due to estate planning that easily could have been avoided if just some simple paperwork would have been done. So we are here almost just to preach about it and just to educate you just a little bit about what seems to be an overwhelming process, but if this is done now, before anything happens, it's simple. So Elise, you want to start us off with the nightmare that your clients experienced?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just before I get into that, a lot of people wait until much later in life to create a trust or a will because they think they don't need it. And that's where a lot of these issues start to pop up. So really, if you have children, if you have property, it's a good time to create a trust because you can always update it down the road. So one of the examples I wanted to bring up is we had a client whose parents passed away within days of each other. And because they were each other's beneficiaries, it caused a huge mess, and the entire family had to go through probate, which is a really not fun process. Holly, do you want to talk about what probate is and how it
Yes. Yes, and so probate varies from state to state. For Arkansas, I know it begins at any estate that's valued over $100,000, and people think that this is $100,000 worth of cash. No, this is $100,000 worth of assets. So if a home does not have a beneficiary deed on it, chances are it's going to go to probate. And probate is basically where the person that passed away, their information is taken to the court where a judge that has no idea most of the time who these people are gets to decide who gets what. So again, it's so important ahead of time to have the proper documentation. A will is not normally good enough. You have to have beneficiary deeds for any type of property that's owned. And again, I'm speaking for Arkansas, so correct me if Nevada's different.
No, it's very similar.
Okay, and then if you have any type of investing account or banking account, it has to have PODs on it. And that's basically just beneficiaries on who gets the accounts. And like Elise said, contingent beneficiaries are important too.
Yeah, and I think just clarifying what that means. So your primary beneficiary is you pass away and all of that money in your retirement account or whatever it is goes to that person or persons. You can have multiple. And then the contingent is exactly what it sounds like. If that person has already passed or whatever the situation is, that is who it will go to next. And we really encourage our clients to put contingent beneficiaries because you never know. So maybe your spouse is your primary and you put your children as a contingent, but something where you have that set up so it's not confusing when you pass away.
Mm-hmm. If you do not have a lot of assets, a will is fine. If you have like just a home, just make sure it has a beneficiary deed on it. Make sure like I said, your accounts have beneficiaries. However, if you've got a lot of assets or property, and Elise brought this up a second ago, a trust is needed. And you can do a revocable trust that you can change as many times as you want. And I definitely want to put emphasis on this for like single parents, which is a situation that I found myself in. I went ahead and set up a trust, and I went ahead and, said who I wanted to be guardian if something happened to me. I set rules on how I want my kids to receive any income that they make and get. Some stuff that you just don't think you're ever going to have to think of, it's important to just put into a trust.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing that it covers, and something that comes up a lot with maybe not your kids, but your parents as they're aging,
Mhm.
is power of attorney. And
Yes.
so, as your parents get to that age where maybe they're getting to a point where they may not be as cognitive and aware of what's going on with their money, establishing power of attorney is really important so that you, as their child, can know what's going on with their accounts and help in those conversations. And you want to do that before your parent really declines health wise. So, getting that established, I think, is another really important thing.
Yeah, and while this can be a little bit expensive to get these documents, let's pivot back and go back to probate. And I guess I need to talk about even the nightmare that my clients have went through. One, when you think probate, even if it's a simple estate, you're looking at 6 months plus. The nightmare that my clients are experiencing is we're 2 years into this and it's not settled. It's not even, I don't think, close to being settled because the person that passed away, they never, again, updated beneficiaries. And so their beneficiaries were people that had already passed away.
Yep.
And so that causes it to go back into the estate, which then means you're talking a lot of people could be owed this money that's in here. In this situation, because all his siblings have pretty well passed away, you're talking kids of the siblings, which can, I'm telling you, when I say it's a mess, it's a
It's
mess.
a mess.
And I think we're going to be probably 3 to 4 years into this, and it's going to be an expensive mess too. So a lot of people don't want to do these documents. Thinking of death is it's never easy. But I feel like one, you've got to do the documents, but two, you've got to organize those documents. And this is very morbid, but have a death box,
Yeah,
you know.
100%.
And these documents go into this box, your bank statements. So your kids or whoever it is that's in charge of when you pass away, they know what accounts you even have. Have your life insurance policies in there. Anything that they need to have information on. And again, I know this is a morbid thought, but just make it easier on the people that you're leaving behind.
Yeah, it is. But there's a famous financial advisor, I can't remember his name, but he does a letter from your dead husband and he updates it every year and it's for his wife. And he keeps a record of where everything is and what she needs to know. And it's very helpful. And the other thing I want to say, yes, so keep a record for yourself, but also give your trust to your financial advisor. We can keep a copy as well. And then, you always have a second location where it's located, which is good.
Absolutely, and that's with every one of our clients, we talk estate planning. This is just one of those topics that if you don't do right, it can be critical to all the money that you have. In fact, it could cost thousands. So you have left basically money for your loved ones and you think they're going to get it all. But if you don't do simple designations correctly, then they could lose potentially thousands.
Yeah.
And so again, we just can't preach enough about updating beneficiaries. And I am going to tell them myself for just a second because I know how easily it is to just forget. I ended up having a bank employee call me and they noticed that I didn't have any beneficiaries on one of my accounts. And they're like, we know that this is overlooked, put beneficiaries on your accounts. So every so often, check life insurance policies, your retirement plans, and this is something that Elise and we preach on quite a bit, is dormant retirement plans that are just floating out there, because chances are it may be a former spouse, it may be someone that's passed away. This is why it's so important to consider rolling them into an IRA and keeping them active, because you have someone like a financial advisor that they meet with you once a year and they will ask, are these beneficiaries up to date?
Absolutely. It's so important. And I think just knowing families, I know my family, it's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of relationships, and trust can handle all of that. So, whether you have a blended family or just a complicated family dynamic, the trust can make sure all of that is covered and it really puts it all into place. So instead of just having individual beneficiaries on each account, you name the trust, as the beneficiary, and the trust tells everybody what to do. And, like Holly said, it's hard thinking about death, but the last thing you want to do is make it your passing a hassle and a huge pain for everyone after you've left. You want it to be simple, you want it to be clear. And just know whoever you name as trustee, I think that's the last thing I want to cover. It's a big responsibility. So, knowing that whoever you're naming as your successor trustee, they're going to have to handle this and take care of it and do all the things. And we actually had a client the other day, and we have a lot of single clients who maybe don't have children to pass on the responsibility to. And so we talked to her about it, and we were like, do you really want to put this on another person? So we also, our company, and I know everyone's different, but LPL offers trust. They do their own private trust company. So you can have a third party manage your trust as well and be the trustee if you do have a complicated family dynamic, and maybe it's better not to name one kid over the other, or who knows. We won't get into that today. But Holly, anything else as we wrap up this conversation?
I think again, like you just and you've said it, but I want to reiterate it because blended families are so common these days. And I feel like if money is involved, death can bring out the worst in people. And so in order to preserve relationships, and again, I see it a lot with blended families. It's already can be a bit challenging. So in order to just make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible, make sure you have it in order. Make sure everything is clear. And if you want someone to review, to just kind of make sure, work with a financial advisor or an attorney or someone that just can look at it and say that you're good. We obviously cannot draw up the documents for you, but we can look to say, okay, you should be good, or no, you need to go back to your attorney and get this straightened up right away. So definitely, again, this is estate planning month. Keep it on your mind for October. Go and check policies. I think that is it for me, at least.
Yeah,
I think.
and it's for everyone. There's no escape. We all need some estate planning in our life.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time. Okay. And what happened was,
Hi, Holly.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Quick
Good.
question for Elise. Did you speak to Istanbul?
yes, I
Oh,
did.
good.
All's good. We're gonna record a.
So I need to be quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you be quiet?
All right.
Okay.
I'll be quiet.
Okay, let's start over.